Today we have got a fantastic matchup for you. It's going to be the Mista playing in the north corner of the map in yellow as the French, and in the south corner of the map in red is RTS Returns playing as the Abbasid dynasty. The Abbasid dynasty, of course, being very much the counter-civ to the French. And this is going to be an interesting matchup because the French are no slouchers, that's for sure. It's going to be a relatively extended feudal age, I suspect. Both civilizations have a lot of strength in the feudal age. Of course, the French naturally having the early knights, the French royal knights, and can often pile on a lot of pressure in the feudal age. It's one of the strongest parts of their game. And then, of course, the Abbasid dynasty often tech in to the fresh foodstuffs after getting the economic wing. And getting that second town centre is very common. We shall see if this turns out to be a meta game, or if things are a bit shaken up a little bit. Obviously, the Mista, as we've known and come to love, is he plays the game the way he wants to, and he puts on the pressure as much as he can so that he can play the game that he would like to play and dictate the pace of the game. And we've got 4 villagers building that school of cavalry. Relatively standardized build here, although he's actually taking villagers off of gold to build the school of cavalry, which is a little bit less standard. So it will be a delayed wheelbarrow, that is for sure. Maybe it should be able to afford an early knight, a royal knight coming out of that school of cavalry. But no early wheelbarrow, which will mean that he'll get up to the next stage quicker. And let's take a look at the scouting situation and how many he's gone for. It appears to be that it's gone for 2 scouts, indeed, as the French, as commonly expected. But what about the Abbasid dynasty? Has he just only committed to 1 scout? RTS Returns, not too interested in the sheep, playing the Abbasid dynasty, and would like to get as many sheep as he can. Deny it from the French, of course. The French rely on food incredibly heavily, so you'll see most players do go for that second scout as a French, and often the opponents do as well to try and counteract that. But not today. RTS Returns just opting for the 1 scout. We shall see how that pans out for him, whether he's able to deny too many sheep or not. The French have got a decent amount, but, you know, Mista being very aggressive here, just trying to delay the gold, trying to create as much idle time as he can for RTS Returns, and rather than spending on scouting time. So it's an interesting take on his strategy here for the Mista. Villagers are going to be switching around. There is that golden hue to signify that feudal age uptime for the Abbasid dynasty. The French getting up at the same time, barracks going down for RTS Returns. Of course, preemptively getting that barracks to get some spearmen out onto the field to essentially counter any knights that will be coming. As you can see, that royal knight has been queued up. That will be popping out soon. Notice that the Mista's going to go for a second town centre. Now, this is something commonly done by the French as well, especially if they're going against the Abbasid dynasty, going 2 town centres. Don't forget, though, the French town centre actually runs faster, so Mista will be getting more villagers out quicker. Over time, that villager lead will build up, and it's a really interesting feudal age, because the Abbasid dynasty, whilst they go for 2 town centres, or it doesn't actually look like RTS is going 2 town centres anyway, but if he was to, he would get 2 for 1 on the prices of his villagers, and so he would be saving a lot of food. The Abbasid dynasty can often have quite a lot of food left over for a military in the feudal age. That's why they're very strong, often, with feudal age aggression. And we can see a stable going down for the Abbasid dynasty, and this is super interesting. RTS Returns not opting for that second town centre. Not yet anyway, and he's not really committing to that. So this is super interesting. He's going to go for a very heavy feudal age. Usually it's the Abbasid dynasty that booms away. Rather, it's going to be the French today. So being a 1 town centre, having fresh foodstuffs in, means there'll be more food for the Abbasid dynasty to convert into army and put some feudal age pressure. That feudal age pressure will have to come in quickly, because with 2 town centres for the French, that economy can really start to spiral out of control. 240 stone already in the bank, and he's going to be able to afford that second town centre relatively quickly. Let's take a look where he might put it. Might put it around the back here with the berries and the woodland. That'd be a very safe option, and kind of have a static defence to this right side of the entrance to the base. It might go a bit further afield on the deer and gold. That'd be a very nice spot, of course. Deer, food, and gold. Very, very important resources. Quite a few spearmen on the field now for the Abbasid dynasty. Should be nice and safe. Needs to actually look to spread out those spearmen on either side of the woodland, perhaps. Just protect these wood villagers, because that would be very important for RTS Returns to have. And you can see RTS Returns very firmly believing in the 1 town centre play at the moment, because we would be expecting these spearmen to go on the stone to protect and let the villagers mine that for that second town centre. It doesn't look like to be something that RTS Returns is very much interested in. And we do see that town centre going on the deer and the gold, and he's quite happy to do so because he's not sensing any real sort of threat, any sort of feudal aggression. This villager might go down though. RTS Returns just thinking better of it. It's not. It's going to back off now. I think RTS Returns is actually going to push away the deer as much as he can. and shoot them and kill them, just to make the food efficiency gathering a little bit less. And it's quite common that you see this being done. Horsemen it's going to get some damage in. It might be able to take out one villager. Let's cut that little pokey stabby. But it will take a long time for just one horseman to kill them. Again, the scout being used to try and push the deer as far away as it can. And we see now the Abbasid dynasty, with that information, is able to now saturate. Well, it's got a lot of villagers on the stone, 8 of them. He's going to be rushing a second town centre. Already has the wood enough for getting it. And yeah, RTS Returns. They're going to get that second town centre. Let's take a look at the village count. 28 now for RTS Returns, 28 for the Mista. Which is rather surprising, all things considered, because the French town centre should be running faster. But with 2 town centres now up and running for Mista, that villager lead will start to build. And the Abbasid dynasty will maybe need to think about getting a 3rd town centre just to keep in check and keep up to the economy. Wow, that is a lot of villages that RTS Returns is putting on stone. He is definitely looking for a 3rd town centre at the very least. The population cap has been put in place for RTS Returns. He's going to get a house to fix that. We have seen wheelbarrow come in now for the Mista. The Mista opting for their little bit of early aggression with the knight, didn't get much damage, and now it's transitioned into a 2 town centre build. It's actually got quite a few villages on stone still. Might be looking to save up the stone for a keep in the 3rd age, the castle age. Might even think about 3rd town centre, that would be super greedy. But he does have enough wood for it, so it could potentially think about 3rd town centre. We'll need to defend his position if he does decide to do so, because that will eat into the food count, that's for sure. 2 nice do cycle through, but he doesn't actually have textiles, he just didn't get the charge attack. Quite a few weak villages there, but not a single villager lost there, and so that's actually really good micro by RTS Returns. Spearman on hand to defend. Oh, that's a lot of villages there. 700 stone, that's enough for 2 town centres. Going to put a town centre near the deer. Get that all-important food income. Villagers do get pulled off stone there for the Mista. Has enough for a 3rd town centre, so it will be a 3rd town centre play for the Mista as well. Spearman chasing. Okay, will be a 2nd town centre there for the RTS Returns. Doesn't quite have enough wood for that 3rd town centre though. So the villager lead will start to build up here for the Mista. There's that 3rd town centre for the Mista going on this stone, and so the gold and the berries. And this is actually a very nice neat line there across the map between the 3 town centres. Offers quite a lot of protection actually. There's a deer patch at the back, berry push on the right side there. Quite a bit of ability to wall here. He walls up from the corner of the map to that wood line, and in between these wood lines that could help him quite significantly. We should see if he opts to do something like that. Apologies for that little bit of delay there. The temperature here in the UK is absolutely scorching, so sometimes the PC kind of overheats a little bit, but I've got a little workaround now, so we should be back in the action. And as we say it, and literally as I said it, the Mista is now starting to wall up in between the wood lines and the edge of the map, and that's going to give him a lot of map control, or safety rather actually. And it means that he can kind of safely boom away here with 3 town centres, French town centres. That 3rd one just about to go up now. Let's take a look at the Abbasid dynasty and what they're up to. A couple of spearmen patrolling on the left side, looking to see what scouting information they can get. There's still only 2 town centres, so that villager differential will start to increase, and the longer the game goes in that fashion. You feel like the Mista will be pulling ahead in the economy, but don't forget, look at that food income for RTS Returns. Just needs to grab a bit more gold, or quite a lot more gold, and they should be able to get up to the castle age, or even actually commit to feudal age army. He's got plenty of food and wood to be spent, if he so wishes to do so. Keeping a couple of scouts on the map, as you can see, horsemen there on the right side, and that gives him a lot of vision. Okay, interesting way to play the game so far. So with this matchup, the French versus the Abbasid dynasty as well, depending on what landmark the Mista decides to go with for in the castle age eventually, whether it's the Guild Hall or the Royal Institute, that can play a big role in deciding the outcome of the game. Of course, in the super late game, the Guild Hall can be incredibly effective, and it looks like the town centre we're going down there, the 3rd one, on the wood and deer. Deer is very much the sought after resource here at the moment for Age of Empires 4 pro players. We see often 2nd town centres going on the deer, and it's going to be because of the amount of food they contain. Each one packs 350 food, and it's one of the fastest resources of food you can gather. Of course, probably 2nd to boar, well, 3rd to boar, well, going from top to bottom, it's going to be deep water fish, shore water fish, boar, and then deer. Although there's a bit of a caveat between deep water fish and shore water fish, because of course there's a bit of time there between transferring the food from the deep water fish to the actual dock and the boat traveling time, unless you're the Roos. Of course, the Roos not having such a problem. But certainly, the Mista really building up his economy, focusing on the economy at this stage. There's quite a lot more military here on the field for RTS Returns. He's putting the extra food into that military, as you can see. 25 military on the field versus 22. Actually, that's actually rather surprising for the Mista. It's apparently got 22 military. I'm not entirely sure where they are exactly. I can't see them on the minimap. But that is super surprising. I don't see them anywhere. That is very surprising. Well, I'm sure they'll turn up eventually. Maybe he's garrisoned inside one of the town centers. Let's just take a look. It's not entirely sure where they are. There's a couple of spearmen dotted around the pocket ecos at the back. But not a lot else. But rather surprising to see that military number. But as you can see, Mista produced from the 3 town centers. It's starting to get barracks. You can see the waypoint going forward. So military's a little bit scattered around. There they are. Hiding in the stealth forest. Hiding from my vision. But we see them now. Spearmen and archers. And well, that doesn't look good for the Mista. He can't really engage here. I think he sees that and he decides, oh, better think better of it, and heads back. There is going to be the age up for the French. And that's an impressive timing, considering he's been on 3 town centers for quite some time. These idle villagers didn't get the memo. They haven't got their next task yet. 69 villagers for the Mista, 60 for RTS Returns. That gap will be widening. As you can see now, Mista collecting some more stone, I suspect for a keep. As the game goes on. Be able to benefit from having a keep with the production buildings around it. And that will make those units cheaper. When I say production buildings, it is limited only to the stable and the archery range. You will have to bear that in mind. And the Abbasid dynasty now looking to try and get some walls up on the left side. The Mista might time this perfectly. He's got 2 knights there, might see this. One's quite low in health, doesn't have chivalry yet actually. And it might be man-at-arms play because it is double barracks. Could just be committing a bit more to spearmen. We shall see how Mista decides to play this one once he does get up to the castle age. RTS Returns, as you can see, really committing heavily to the feudal age. A lot of spears, a lot of horsemen, a couple of camel archers. That's important to have the camel archers. An interesting unit. These guys will be adding a lot to the fight. They cause horse cavalry units, for example the knights, to deal 20% less damage. Aristots are coming in the static defenses and the outposts on the forward position. Slowly but surely, RTS Returns looking to wall up that position on the left side. We'll see if it is the guild hall. It is indeed the guild hall that Mista decides to choose to go up to the next stage with. And will he be getting a monastery for those relics? I suspect he probably will be. But it was decisive to see whether he tries to take an engagement. And it looks like RTS is going to take an engagement here. And we've talked about it before, is that when you age up, that is when you're most vulnerable. And, well, RTS Returns thinks exactly the same way. He is now pressing the issue because he knows Mista's in the castle age. He knows that he's stuck in the feudal age for some time. He knows he will have better military. And that is the case. The spearmen clear everything out. Camel archers in behind. And now the Mista are going to be struggling. He's lost everything here. 7 military on the field for Mista. Now, this is a window of opportunity for RTS Returns to push forward. Sure, it doesn't have the stronger economy. It doesn't have the tech up. But he has the all-important military numbers. And now he's going to head forward. Don't forget, he will be able to build rams on the field because the Abbasid dynasty don't need to have siege engineering. They've already got it researched for them. And they've got so many spearmen on the field anyway. He could just torch these buildings down. It's going to be a keep, though. And that is a very nice position for that keep. Going to be protecting a lot of the heart of the economy for the French here today. And we'll be able to take out some of the barracks, though. Our man-at-arms queued up in that, so that will take out some of the production buildings for the Mistas. We've got plenty of wood to replace them with, though. 1 barracks does go down. He'll see the keep. Not sure if he will actually dive that. Oh, he doesn't actually see the keep, so he's not aware of that at all. No scout in the mix. But now it's going to come in the age up for RTS Returns, and he'll know about the keep now, though. He knows about it now. Does lose 1 or 2 spearmen. Just the 1 spearman, but a lot of low HP spearmen there. This is where things become very interesting. Look, we see the RTS Returns player going to get some walls up here on the front line. Walls on the right side as well, so he's looking to boom up a little bit, but being stuck on 3 town centers means that it'll always be behind on villages. Did take a good engagement there, though, so a lot of resources were wasted for the Mista. Not too far behind on villages, rather, to be fair. Looks like some man-at-arms. Man-at-arms archers appears to be the play here for the Mista. There is that monastery. Some relics will be picked up, I suspect, very soon. Be interesting to see if the abbasid is going to go for the relics as well. Going for the boar, it seems. Oh no. Yeah, he's actually going to go for the boar. I don't know, that must be a spectator glitch. It obviously indeed is a spectator glitch. Boar has disappeared there. Apparently still there. Might have just attack moved. I'm not sure there was any villages actually going out to that. Getting quite a few villages on stone here. RTS Returns, looking to maybe get a keep of his own. Golden Age 2 coming in. Okay, let's talk strategy. At this point now, for the Mista, really, he just probably wants to be aggressive in terms of getting the military numbers out. He knows he's taken a bad fight there, lost a lot of military, but the units that it does come out with now will be Castle Age units. Veteran archers, veteran spearmen, and man-at-arms. It's going very heavy on the infantry. Be interested to see if RTS Returns with the Abbasid dynasty leverages as their bonus, which is they can build mangonels on the field. So if you can build some mangonels on the field, it could take really good fights here. There's no real counter unit here for the French just yet. There is the Castle Age for the Abbasid dynasty now, so it's only now that we'll be able to get the mangonels. We should see if he decides to build any. Actually, just going to go around the right side. There is a knight here looking to get some value, but the spearmen's engage. That knight dies very, very quickly. And let's just see, the new relics being picked up? Nope, not yet. One monk does come out. The boss going out for RTS Returns, so he's looking to contest some of those relics. Looks like Camel Archer Spearman is the play here for RTS Returns. Not a bad play here, all things considered. He might need something against the archers though, so he might want to consider getting some mangonels. That'll do quite nicely if you're Camel Archer, Spearman, and mangonels. A very strong army indeed. Maybe some springles as well to add into the mix. But you won't want to do that blind. You want to focus on getting the military in the form of mangonels first. Springles will be a counter opponent springles, but it doesn't see any on the field at the moment, and Mista doesn't look like he's building any, so be fine on that front. A couple of monks are going forward to try and pick up the relics, but look at that. The Abbasid dynasty getting those Camel Archers in position, looking to protect that position. Now he's got so much map control with the army, but he's going to take an engagement here. The Camel Archers need to head back. One does get sniped by the archers, and that's a problem. I get the feeling that RTS Return doesn't have too much in the way of countering the archers, and that's a problem. He maybe needs to get in some horsemen here. Maybe some man-at-arms of his own, but I think man-at-arms could be a play because he's spending a lot on food and wood here. Not much on gold. Mista, look at gold's income for Mista. It's looking pretty hefty here. Pretty crazy. A couple of relics being picked up now. I think one for each player, perhaps. Yep. There is the one for RTS Returns. One has already been deposited for the Mista. Look at the stone count for RTS Returns. He'll certainly be able to afford his second keep. Well, I think Mista had quite a decent amount of gold, stone there. I wonder whether he's got his second keep or not. Doesn't appear so. Let's just check what the guild hall is toggled to. By default, it's on food. It's still on food. Spearman on hand. That relic's already been taken. Oh, that's an issue. RTS Returns giving away his position with the monk on the right side, but to be fair, the Mista doesn't really have much in the way of military on the field on that side at least. 50 military for the Mista, 66 for RTS Returns. Things about to heat up, I think, very soon because, well, both players are reaching pop cap and, well, we see the gong, the age-up gong for RTS Returns. Does he go up? He does indeed. Going up with the military wing. Oh, where's that scholar going? Oh, the Imam. It's not actually going for the sacred site. Getting a keep in the central sacred site in a very nice spot there. A nice position to attack from. There's an 8,000 gold vein there. Looks like a wolf is in action here. Mista going for that farming transition. Farming transition well underway here for RTS Returns as well. A couple of idle villagers didn't get the memo what to do next. And quite heavy on gold actually, RTS Returns, so that's interesting. I suspect he's going to go for some sort of gold unit eventually, maybe cannons, or bombards rather. But he's got a lot of gold going to be banked up soon with this number of villagers on gold. Mista already has almost 4k. The Imam is going for that sacred site now on the right side. That gold trick will be very nice. Mista can afford another keeper almost. Another 150 wood, stone rather, coming out soon. Plenty of villagers on stone. Guild Hall still on food now. It's the time for the Mista to go up to the next stage. He was struggling on the food, had plenty of gold. I suspect he'll go up with the College of Artillery. We should see what he actually decides to go for. It is going to be indeed the College of Artillery, going to be getting those siege units onto the field. 2 sacred sites in play for the RTS Returns. Got 2 relics as well, so that's 400 gold per minute, equivalent of 10 villagers. 2 relics in for the Mista. This mark going a little bit past the mark. Mista getting a keep here in this position. Going to be very solidify this position with the wood and the berries. Not a bad spot indeed. Camel Archer's going to take out some of the knights that are trying to dive through to get some scouting intel. They do tank quite a bit of the damage though. And this is something we see very interestingly done. The whole woodline now is going to be walled in with the palisades. It doesn't want to rely on keeping an eye out for overchops. That can be a dangerous, risky business. 2 siege workshops on the field. We shall see if we get some trebuchets out here, or maybe some bombards actually. Can't afford it just yet. Lacking the wood. A lot of high value units on the field. Ooh, stone walls for the Mista. There's the Imperial Age for the Mista. Line formation you can see very clearly for Mista getting that College of Artillery now. Nothing queued up just yet. Look at these upgrades. Greased axles. He's definitely queuing up for it. The siege push. Elite upgrades to the knights. Elite upgrades to the archers. Elite upgrades to the arbaletiers. Cannon placements. Crossbow stirrups. Boiling oil. You name it, he's getting it. 136 villagers for the Mista. 130 for RTS Returns. Both players have quite a strong economies here, to be fair. On the left side, RTS Returns going to try and deny this gold. That's going to be quite important. But there is still a villager getting the stone walls up, but there's an outpost there. Quite a lot of villagers on that gold here. This is where the second keep may have gone, actually. He's got stables there. Be able to produce those units very nicely and cheaply, and this is quite a nice setup for Mista. Plenty of stables, has got lacking the gold just for now, but we'll be able to bank in that gold with this number of villagers, getting those elite knights up. Just to see if he gets the biology, of course, and bloodlines. Well, not biology, because the French get royal bloodlines instead. The spearmen take out the knights. Now it leaves the archers. Camel archers are there. The knights are all but taken care of almost. 2 more joining the fight, and a lot of camel archers, but they don't trade necessarily that well against the archers. This is a bit of a problem for RTS Returns. Plenty of spearmen, but doesn't have a counter to the archers just yet. It's going to have to take care of those. Keep is there, protecting that gold vein, and I think we need to see some bombards. That is for sure. Do we see some bombards? Yep, we see some bombards coming out. Just the one so far, though. There is a cannon emplacement in the outpost. There's also a cannon emplacement coming into the keep. Where is that third important sacred site? That's something to consider here. It's actually behind the keep, and it's under control of the Mista. I think the Mista's got very vulnerable points actually secured with keeps. Trebuchet might be going down with villagers actually. Villagers being pulled. On the right side. Looks like the 2 trebuchets for Mista are going to try and take out this keep. Doesn't really have much in the way of military there though, to defend those that keep. 25 minutes on the clock. And keep going up here on this position for RTS Returns. This could be a position for him to shoot and kind of charge and attack from. He's got bombards coming in. Ooh, also going to dive in for the Mist. I'm not sure if that's advisable. This keeper's under pressure here on the right side. Archers in behind the knights. Camel archers will do great work against the knights, and so will the spearmen. Horsemen. This is a perfect switch here for RTS Returns. He recognizes he needs something against the archers, and he goes for it. He goes for the horsemen. Camel archers behind it. We need a bit more siege though. Just the one cannon so far, or the bombard rather. Bombard doing decent work though. Not sure if the bombard's actually firing at the keep. I don't think it was. Yeah, this is a bad fight for the Mista. He can't really take it. Maybe a mangonel or 2 for RTS Returns will work wonders. On the right side, that keep is very much under pressure. This keep's still very full health. It looks like RTS Returns is going for the stables first. Try and deny the production capabilities. Now camel riders. Oh no, these camel archers rather. Just camel archers for now. Slowly but surely though, Mista looking perilous in this position. Oh, the units kind of dived there, a bit too close I think. Horsemen on the front line, backed up by the camel archers, spearmen being held back. The archers will die to the horsemen and the camel archers though. There's not enough military out here for Mista, that's for sure. 48 for Mista, 77 for RTS Returns. RTS Returns, the fresh foodstuffs really freeing up the food for affording the camel archers, elite camel archers. Ooh, but these horsemen do get through. There's an overchop there, or it's not even been walled up there. There is more of an overchop there, I think, on the Stealth Forest. There is now a cannon there. A royal cannon that does finish off that keep. That Sacred Site and Gold Vein is going to be under pressure. Villagers being brought out to repair the keep. Those will be going down, but with 3 town centers, they will be able to replace those. Bombards, 2 bombards down the field. The keep will go down very soon, but it's being repaired. Valuable stone being used to delay things a little bit. On the right side. The elite horseman getting good value though. RTS Returns doesn't really have an answer for that just yet. Villagers do go down on the Gold Vein. Keep will be going down very soon. But at what cost? He lost a lot of his spearmen, maybe all. The keep does go down now. Still villagers repairing them. Interestingly, Mista hasn't decapped the Sacred Site. It's going forward with a couple of keeps there. Creeping forward, they're being fortified with cannon emplacements as well. So that'll be hard for the static defenses to be taken out. Right side of the keep town or Sacred Site was looking to be decapped. Knight's not in position though. Now with that base on the left side being taken under control, RTS Returns maybe looking to pressure again. A couple of horsemen, a couple of knights raiding here for the Mista. Still just the 3 town centers as far as I can see for the Abbasid dynasty. Heavy on stone, maybe looking to get another keep up. Horsemen going to be dying soon. Elite archers there. 2 cannons, they're taking out the siege workshops. That's actually quite significant. The siege is what's going to end out the game. The horsemen are going to chase down the camel archers. Going to need some micro here for RTS Returns. That's a bit of a problem because Mista could just attack move. But the camel archers do need to be microed, and meanwhile he's being raided. RTS Returns. Keeping in a tough spot here actually. Looks like Mista's being very aggressive, continues to produce 68 military, the better economy now. Really starting to kick in. Look at the food and the gold. I mean, the Mista could actually be saving up for a massive night push eventually. Because the spearmen, they're not very fast, and there aren't that many spearmen on the field anymore. Not for RTS Returns at least. Constant raiding must be annoying. The good thing for the Mista with the raiding is that it just continues to bring the military back home for RTS Returns. He can't breathe, he can't head forward. And because of this, it leaves the Mista the ability to build up his economy, build up his army. He does lose that Sacred Site on the west though. In the meantime, it's kind of gathering some momentum on the right side. Getting a lot of map control here, the French. Camel archers picking up what remains of the French army there. This is so key because this is forcing RTS Return to stay back at home. Oh, looks like hand cannoneers. Hand cannoneers and horsemen is the play here for the Mista. He's set up his economy incredibly well for that. Does have some royal cannons pushing on the left side to keep now. And on the right side, Mista just keeping everything everywhere. He's got a trebuchet as well on the right side. Maybe look to take out the mosque, free up those relics. Bombard's going to be sniped by the royal cannons. Actually, these are standard cannons, so it must be that there are siege workshops on the field for the Mista. Camel archers being charged down by the horsemen. Look at the gold income for the Mista though; it's pretty insane. A little bit of a ball of hand cannoneers. Those will be sniped by the horsemen. Not enough in the numbers to really make it count. But the army on the left side for RTS Returns looking strong. He's pushing back. He's pushing back hard on the left side, but he's losing the right side. Slowly being pushed by the cannons and the knights. An interesting, fascinating game so far between the French and the Abbasid dynasty. Just get the feeling that this being unwalled or being open kind of hurt RTS Returns quite a bit. It's going to lose a bombard as well. But I like what is being done here by the Mista. He's keeping static defenses, trying to keep hold of the map control, stonewalling on the left side. Needs to protect himself from a raid himself, and now that mosque does go down, there were 2 relics in there. That was 5 villagers per second equivalency. Now they keep going down here for the Mista. Let's take a look at the guild hall. Yeah, the guild hall's going for stone. We see this quite a lot with the French. He cashes that in, he can get another keep, and getting these keeps in such strategic positions is so important. Buys some time. And it's just so hard for the Abbasid dynasty to clear that up without the siege. Bearing in mind, he just lost his 2 siege workshops. fantastic play by Mista. You can see it's very well calculated. He specifically targeted the siege workshops, and he got static defenses in play. He needs those static defenses, can't be taken out because he doesn't have siege workshops. And in fact, RTS Returns had enough of the raiding. He's going to get defensive keep back at home. Sacred Site gets under the control of the French, played by Mista, getting the right-sided one as well, and could even go for the left one. I mean, another 2 keeps here for the Mista could be relatively strong. He's already got enough for 1, almost 2. There's a big fight here. Very, very key. Hand cannoneers with some horsemen in front. Knights or elite horsemen do cycle on the left side. Take care of 2 bombards. That is hugely significant. Might even take a culverin as well. Siege goes down for RTS Returns, but he has the military on the field. Got a couple of camel archers still left. A couple of spearmen bracing there, not doing too much. Camel riders is on the menu here for RTS Returns as well. Adding in camel riders will counter the knights. That's an incredibly nice play here, because it does actually look like it's mostly cavalry that Mista's going for. No knights really on the field, not too many anyway. A couple of archers raiding the wood line. This is a problem for the Mista, for the RTS Returns rather. He's going to lose a lot of villagers here. You can see Mista 117 villagers versus 115, relatively equal on that number. 1 keep does go up for the Mista. He cashes in, I think, gets another keep here on the central sacred site. Again, villagers might be lost here, quite a lot of them. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is worth it for the Mista. Losing everything. Having said that, RTS Returns is losing everything to the keep as well. Not ideal either way. Villagers have to be pulled away from the woodland. That's a lot of idle time, guys. The keep will be going up with the cannons behind, and now this is a really strong staging ground for the Mista to attack from. The mosque does get rebuilt. He's looking to try and get the relics again. You just get the feeling that, look at this walling up as well by the Mista. He's slowly but surely tightening his grip on the opponent. Get the feeling that Mista is serving up for 1 big push here. A lot of horsemen, spearmen on the field. Most importantly, he's got cannons. It's often siege that wins games at this point. The monastery does go down. He does have an imam. I say monastery, it's really a mosque. The imam picks up the relic, heads back home. Horsemen looking to just try and debate those camel archers into the castle range. Cannon placements in the outposts there. 200 population cap for the Mista, 85 military. Oh, this is a problem for the RTS Returns. He lost a lot of villagers there on that wood line, and subsequently he's not been able to produce military. In fact, he's got a lot of resources, he's just not spending it just at the moment. Maybe he's considering what army to go for, but anyway, the knights engage, hand cannons and behind. You get the feeling there aren't enough spearmen here for RTS Returns. I don't think there are, because these elite horsemen will be doing quite a bit of damage. The elite horsemen take care of the spearmen almost, especially with the archers and hand cannoneers and behind. And now this is a problem here for RTS Returns. He's losing everything, losing the military. I don't think he's got the economy to build this back up again. Look at the population, 140. This game coming to a climax. You feel like it's going to end soon. Mista tightening his grip, sending the cannons forward, 4 of them. Maybe looking to take out the production buildings and the town centre, and with that, that'll be calling the GG, I suspect. It feels like this game's going to be ending soon. The Abbasid dynasty under huge amounts of pressure. The French pushing in, and there it is. The Mista takes this game. RTS Returns calls the GG. Mista showing his strength, heading it in to the Road to Red Bull Wallow tournament. The Mista shows what it's capable of. Hope you guys enjoyed this casted game, and if you did, do give it a thumbs up. Take care, and see you next time.